Hello there, I'm Dark Shades and I hail from the east of England. Welcome to my channel. First time you're passing through, you're welcome to like, share and subscribe. Subscribe is the most important one. And yes, I wanted to talk about sex and the older woman. You might say, sex and the older woman? How can you talk about sex and the older woman and you look like you're in your 30s or 40s? Yeah, I get told I'm in my 30s or I'm in my 40s, but I'm actually in my 60s. So I consider myself an older woman and I consider myself more than qualified to talk on the subject. And I'm not early 60s either. So that out of the way to eliminate any bias or any kind of skepticism about what I'm going to say. The first thing I think when I think about sex and the older person is how young people relate to it, or even children when they're talking to their parents and they kind of like, oh, do you still do it? Oh, that's disgusting. And I was watching the Gogglebox the other day, and the thought that their mothers and their parents might actually be having sex was horrifying. And I'm sure some of those parents are in their 50s, early 60s, might be even in their 40s. But anyway, for some reason, as you get older, sex is supposed to be taboo. Sex is supposed to be horrible. It's where you're all shriveled up. It's where you're dry, where, your bones are cracking. That's the kind of image that they want us to perceive about having sex. They don't want people in their 60s enjoying sex. And yes, you can enjoy sex. It's your expectations. Some people, I've heard men already say, oh, I can't get it up anymore. They're in their 50s. It's a mindset. Sex is a mindset. Sex is mindfulness. Sex is about being in the moment, about experiencing that moment. But I think a lot of men are damn lazy. Not only are they lazy in the house, they're damn lazy in the bedroom. They want to lie down, their legs sprawl out, whether they're waiting for a blowjob or you're supposed to be getting on top of them or what. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Damn lazy. And they use the age as an excuse to not do anything, to not participate, apart from when they're going to ejaculate. That's the only time you might see a little action. And you're just like, is this what it is? Is this what it is as you get older? And because that is how the mindset has been, that is the expectation. That becomes the expectation. It doesn't have to be like that. It's like as people get older, they feel as though they've got to dress a certain way, behave a certain way, the same attitude they have towards sex. They feel that as they get older, men, they think they can't get out. Putting aside those who have health issues, I'm not talking about those who have health issues like diabetes, prostate, bowel, whatever it is going on down there why they can't get it up. Put aside the health issues. I'm talking about healthy men who are damn lazy and they want the woman to do everything. Not only in the household, but in the bedroom as well. And they make the excuse, oh boy, if you wanted to know, you have to go play with it. You know? I'm just, you know what I mean? You're supposed to play with it. If it ain't ready, forget it. You know? But you have men who behave like that. They expect the woman to do the work. And, these women that do these songs that make it look like the men are supposed to be these super creatures who last for hours, they don't help because it's quite intimidating. They do not know the woman's expectation in the sexual arena. They don't know their expectations. A lot of men, they feel quite intimidated at the prospect of having sex with a woman, especially the first time. They're not sure whether or not they're going to come too quick. They're not sure whether or not they're going to it's going to get up. They have all those issues, but they have to remember it's a mind thing. It's not your body, it's not your age, it's your mind. You will your penis to become erect. It's got nothing to do with the surroundings or the women. Yes, surroundings can happen. Surroundings can affect it. I mean, if you've had a row, if your woman looks like crap, if you're hungry, or if you had a long day at work, or you're driving far distances, or you've got a really physical, strenuous job, then that is totally different. You set aside time for sex. But what I'm talking about is when you actually decide that you want to have sex or make love. Eddie Murphy seems to be there's a difference. I F her, but I make love to you. There's no bloody difference. None whatsoever. In fact, the person who's getting F'd is probably being treated better than the one who's being made love to. Who knows? I might be sounding a bit crass here, but the fact of the matter is that men need to get their act together in the bedroom as well. So not only are we, oh yes, we are demanding. You may think we're demanding, but no, it's not that we're demanding. It's about what we know, about what you can do as men. And it's about hiding behind excuses yet again. Men are thrilled that as they get older, I'm getting older. I'll tell her I can't get it up. And then, she'll do this or she'll do that if she wants it. And they know that women are more sexual as they get older. So they know that the woman is more likely to want it more than they want it. So they don't have to play a part if they don't want to. But it is about the mind. It's similar. I don't know if it works in gay relationships, but if you're a gay person, it would be your mind that's telling you who arouses you and why. And it's the same in a heterosexual relationship. The individual arouses you, and it's the mind that triggers. When you want to, when you fancy a woman, it's your mind that looks at that woman and says, boy, she's hot. I'd love to make love to her. And boom, what happens? You get an erection. It's like when we used to go to the dances, when we used to have these rubber-dub dance and lovers rock dance. You dance with a man, tutus, he gets an erection and you're like, hold on a minute, ease up a bit. It's because his mind has done overtime. And similarly, when you're in a relationship, and that's why as people get older, especially as they get older together, they take a lot for granted. They take their sexual process for granted. And whereas in the past, it was okay just to, just get on top, in, out, and shake it all about, it's totally different as you get older. Because as you get older, yes, you feel the pressures of life. And like they say, your knees might be cracking, your teeth might be rattling, your skin might be dry, and all of those things. That is still a mindful thing. You can still do things about that. Sometimes it's just about being careful, changing positions, doing things where it's comfortable. It doesn't have to be an arduous task. But sex is becoming an arduous task because people are selfish and lazy. They can't be bothered. And rather than say they can't be bothered, they make the most out of a bad job. And it's not fair on either party. I remember somebody used to say to me, you think I'm going to get wet up for nothing? Because she would get all excited and then tutus, it's all over. And it's a waste of time when a man can actually will his penis to stay erect. If he can be bothered. A lot of them can't. They're damn lazy, like I said. They want the woman to do the work. They want the woman to look after them. The woman, even in the bedroom. And I'm not saying it can't be a two-way street. And on top of that, they want the woman to do all the work. Are they doing anything for the woman, please? Are they reciprocating? Oh no, they want it, and they want it a certain way. But God forbid you tell them you want something. Me not do them thing there. Me not do them thing there. Them thing there. Oh, if I laugh a finny. Anyway, what have I got in my notes? What do we expect from older person when it comes to sex? It's based on what we hear. That's what I'm saying. Men become impotent when they reach 50s and 60s. That is not a certainty. They don't have to become impotent. What probably happens is they become tired, they become lazy, they don't want to engage the brain. A lot of men, all they have in their lives is their job, their women, and their children. And if they love football, great, or sports or whatever. But those are what keeps that person happy. And so anything that takes an effort over and above that becomes hard work. And I don't believe that men go, well, I know men aren't impotent over 50. I know they're not impotent over 60. And in some cases, they're not even impotent over 70. But it's to do with the mind, how they engage the mind, how they want to please their women. That's what it's got to do with. They claim they love their women and they claim they want to please them. And if the woman ain't they don't see no conversion for the woman, what way I take so long? I do. Way I do. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. It sounds like personal experiences, maybe in some part of my past life, but I know these things happen. Anyway, what else have I got to say? Like I said, not only are they lazy, okay, I've said that. Sex is a mind thing. If they can control their mind, they can control their performances. And this is what I'm talking about, healthy men. Lazy mind, lazy performance. Selfish mind, selfish performance. They go hand in hand. So don't bother be calling up people, calling up women and saying, boy, this age thing is not a good thing, so I can't get it up again. You have to go work with it. Not bother with that. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out because you're damn lazy. So, barring health issues, I've said that may make a man impotent or flaccid or quick comers. Men should be able to have a healthy sex life until their 80s. Until they're in their 80s. They should be able to. That's why you see some men and you'll kind of think, bloody hell, they're still doing it. When you hear about these people who have children, and yes, you can just get a child just by putting it in and ejaculating, but it's got a lot to do with the mindset. And if you're 70, 80 or 80 and you have the mindset that, yeah, I can do this. And I'm not talking about with Viagra or with any stimulants. I'm talking about naturally. But if you have the mindset, I can do this, I can please my woman, you can please her. But it's a mindset. And that's why a lot of men, they should take up Buddhism or something, or mindfulness training, and get their bodies in check and stop being so damn lazy. Sex is synonymous with love. And it is. I mean, you're not supposed to just have sex willy-nilly, even though people do. It is supposed to be a connection of the minds and a connection of the body. The two minds become one and the two bodies are intertwined. And the thing is, when you think about sex as a mind thing and you actually go into your mind to create and actually feel what's going on, it feels totally different than when you're kind of estranged from the experience and it just feels like in, out, and shake it all about. And the man probably feels the same way. He just wants to come. Because the mind, the brain isn't engaged in the process. And it needs to be engaged in the process. And that needs to be engaged regardless of the age. From the 30s, you get some 30-year-olds. They can come in a couple of minutes or they can't get it up. It's got nothing to do with age. It's got to do with being sensitive and compassionate and tuning into the other person. and making it a reciprocal experience. That's what it's about, a considerate and sensitive experience. No, I can't be bothered. I'm going to let her do the work, or she can't be bothered, so I'm going to turn my back in it and put it in back way so I don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? It's not about that. It's the brain. Anyway, both men and women go into the bedroom with too many excuses. Too tired, too hot, headache, feel dry, it hurts. They may be valid. But it stems from lack of consideration. And the thing is that with care, sensitivity, helping each other, making each other feel comfortable, you can have a good experience. You know, if you're feeling dry, you can get KY. You know, if you're feeling tired, make sure you want to have sex on a time when you're not tired. When you two of you haven't just come from work, haven't had a long journey. You know, some jobs, I think some men, especially when women work in offices, they think that the woman is not really working, especially if they have a physical job. So they think it's easier for the woman. But do you know that mental exhaustion is more strenuous than physical exhaustion? So when the women go to work and they've been using their brain non-stop, they are just as exhausted or even more so than the man who's gone out there and done some bricklaying. But because in their minds, the women ain't really working, they're not really doing stuff, they make more demands of the woman. And they don't understand why I was tired. I was tired. And you know, I do not need a warm all day. Or you're at work all day sitting behind a computer. That's the mentality. They don't realise it's a strenuous process to use your brain for the 8 hours you are at work. And some of our jobs, I know my job, highly, highly responsible. You can't make mistakes. And I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but what it means is you have to keep going over a process time and time again before you click submit to make sure that that process is correct. Checking, cross-checking, double-checking, triple-checking. You know what that does? 8 hours a day? Well, you get an hour for lunch. But my point is that it is just as strenuous. So women should not be made to work to get what they need in order to feel fulfilled and energetic for the next day, just because the man perceives that woman as not doing the same amount of work as he does, and therefore it's justified for him to ask her to do all the work. And not say it go. So, like, it's not necessary to have sex every night, although depending on the individual, it is possible. Not in the female body or not. Yeah, so, and yeah, some men, when they're having sex, they're not, like I said, it goes back to mindfulness. It goes back to, what are you doing with the female body? Are you just putting your penis in a woman and in, out, shaking it all about? Or are you navigating that woman? Are you actually mindfully and consciously navigating the woman? That's all I can say. Because the thing is, there's a difference. And the thing is, it makes the male experience better than just a process. Sex isn't supposed to be a process, unless, of course, it's a certain part of your religion and you're only supposed to have sex because you're going to have a baby, then yes, it probably is a process. But if it's out for enjoyment and it's supposed to be mutual enjoyment, it's not an easy thing to do. Like everything else in a relationship, it's hard work. It takes time. It takes knowledge and understanding of the person, of the individual, what they like and what they don't like. And the thing is that be surprised. You'd think that somebody in their 60s or 70s have got it going on and know what they're doing. They might as well be 20. All those years they've been going through life and they still don't know how to how to satisfy a woman. And I think it's the selfish mindset. I think it's the lazy mindset. So a lot of women need to, if you've got a man, you need to teach them. If they're not instinctual and they don't know instinctively how to please a woman, you need to tell them. You don't just lie back and take it and think, oh, think of England and, can't wait to get it over. If they're not doing things right. I understand that you have some men who are stubborn and who have an attitude and who have an ego and you can't tell them what to do. And I'm not of this and I'm not of that and blah, blah, blah. But that means that when you're done with him, because whatever reason, because if he's selfish in that area, he's probably selfish in other areas. So when he moves on to the next one, he's using the same technique. He's none the wiser. And he carries that technique right down to his grave until he's probably on his own somewhere. It really is important to communicate. And providing you're not asking for something outrageous or something that goes against somebody's principles and morals, and you're having consensual sex, there shouldn't be a problem. The two of you should be able to work things out if it's in a mutual, loving and compatible relationship. So, a man in his 30s might not be able to get it up because he feels intimidated, worried he can't meet expectations. He needs a woman who does not expect sex but is willing to wait until he's ready and comfortable, and then it will spring into action. You see, sometimes, like I said earlier, it can be quite intimidating, the sexual process. For the man, he's thinking, can I perform? Am I going to come too quick? Am I going to be able to get it up? Am I going to be able to satisfy her? And all of those can be, somebody who's thoughtful. You get some people, some men, they just want to do it because they're so physically attracted to that person. It stands up anyway. And then you have the woman on the first, should I not? Is it right? Is it wrong? It's a different mindset. And if I do it, is it going to be worth doing? And, and so you've got two people going into sex for the first time with different expectations, different thought processes, different sensitivities, and different expectations. So sex is not about endurance, to see how you've been going along, like, oh yeah, I've been doing it for 15 minutes. Yeah, it's now tough. Why, I can't believe says, oh, I did this now. It's not about endurance. Sex is a meeting of the minds and the bodies. That's what I said before. Two minds become one. The focus should be on each other, what you're feeling, how it feels. It should be a mindfulness moment. Some women can't wait for it to finish. Some men are trying to make it last as long as possible. Some couples have it just right. There is nothing better than where you're sexually compatible. And that, like I said, can be automatic. I mean, you can reach a stage where you think, bloody hell, I'm never going to have good sex again. I'm never going to find somebody who can get it up. I'm never going to be fulfilled sexually. And you kind of resign your life to that lot. You might even just say, boy, I might as well just get a vibrator. But then you can meet somebody and you realise that it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be a struggle. That sex is actually enjoyable. And it's natural and it's beautiful, regardless of the age. So I reject anybody who makes excuses about sex in older life. It can be wonderful. And it can be even better than when you were young. If you meet the right person, that is. So, what else? The light just went out. Why did the light go out? That's strange. One of my bulbs has gone. That's what it is. Okay, I need some more bulbs. So how important is sex as you get older? Well, it can make you feel rejuvenated. It's an exercise. It stimulates your body and your mind. It brings you closer together. It makes you smile. It makes you sing. And it makes you happy and light-hearted. How many men have gone to work after they've had after they've made love to their wife? They don't even realise it. They just have that little spring in their step and they go to work and they're smiling and nobody can argue with them. And you'll get somebody say, boy, did you get lucky last night or something? And he can either admit it or he can say, keep quiet. But one thing a man shouldn't say, if he's had a good session with his wife, he shouldn't share the details with any of his work colleagues, because next thing you know, they'll be knocking on her door asking for a bottle of milk. So yeah, it actually changes your whole disposition. And people will say, boy, how she looks so. Oh, I'm look so. I'm look so happy. I'm look, and face don't have no wrinkle. And he's got this bounce in his step. She looks bright. People notice. They don't know what it is, but they probably had a good session the night before. Go to work the next day, people are like, something ain't going right there, or something is going right there, or she's been lucky, or whatever. So yeah, it is good for your general well-being. Let me see. Except, yeah. So what I'm saying is, don't have the expectation, because sometimes what you get is what you expect. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe your body is going to fall apart once you reach a certain age, it will. You predicted that. You brought that into your life. You asked the universe for that. But if you say, I can have a healthy sex life, I can find a loving partner, I can enjoy a beautiful relationship, that is what you will receive. If you ask for anything else, you'll receive exactly what you ask for. If you say, boy, me can't find a woman, or, we can't get it up, or, I'll never have sex again, and all these kind of stuff, that's what's going to happen. That's what you'll get. So it is sex may be a bit harder as you get older. Knees cracking, cramps, arthritis, sweats, tired, lazy. But it just may well not. It might not. Those things may not happen to you. And if they do happen, like I said, you can compromise. Doesn't mean it has to stop. Doesn't mean you have to be unloving. And spooning is a beautiful way to intimacy. When all things fail, spoon. Perception black women are demanding sexually. Maybe they are. But if they are, you step up or you step back. Medication could have an effect on your performance. But in summary, sex can be great for the older person if you're patient, caring, sensitive, and mature thinking. It's the attitude that matters. We have to take into consideration past relationships and experiences. We take into consideration immaturity, regardless of the age. We take into consideration selfishness and insensitivity. All of those can make sex uncomfortable and unhappy in older age, and people will just try to avoid it. It doesn't have to be that way. Some young men take their time, some older men do. It's an individual thing, not an age thing. Too many older men are saying, I can't get it up anymore. And if you want it, you have to work with it. Like I said, I don't think so. So the lazy and selfish mind means they don't really care about your needs, so you shouldn't be with them and you shouldn't be having sex with them. I mean, sometimes every time you have sex with a man, you're probably just hoping, oh, please God, let it be good, let it be worth it. And it's the same old disappointment. So it is about talking to your man, especially if you know deep down he really cares about you and you know it's about laziness and selfishness. Because ultimately, when people have sex, two people, both of you want to enjoy it. And I can't believe that every man just wants to get off and that's enough. But like I said, there are selfish men who do want to do that. But there are men who want to please their women and make sure that they're happy. So, if they are selfish, let them go along and wait until you find someone who steps up to the plate. The sad thing about that is, how do you know someone's going to step up to the plate? No. It's a pity you can't have some kind of virtual experience, because you have to go through all of that to find out that somebody can't do anything. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a shame. Anyway, like I said, I think it is something you need to talk about. You talk about it beforehand. You get the individual's attitude about sex, their mentality. You can find a lot through talking. And the ones with the big mouth, they're the ones you need to be careful of, be wary of. The silent ones, they're probably know what they're doing. But then one boy, me go last all night. Me can't wait to get all of you. Boy, when me give it to you, you see, when me give it to you, you got to find out. I can't even bloody get it up. So, it's about maturity, like I said, sensitivity and compassion. And I hope I didn't cross the line in this video, and I hope I tried to make it a bit entertaining. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.